Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Erebus shirt on today for another Erebus launch video. We have a big year planned at Erebus HQ, a year full of new models, new movements and new modules. But today it's an old favourite and this one is going to be big. But this one is also going to be small. The Erebus Ascent has been by far our most popular and successful watch to date, and no wonder, just look at the thing. It is drop dead gorgeous and often hundreds of dollars cheaper than the equivalently spec'd watch from most other micro brands. Now, we deliberately launched the Ascent in 39mm because it's a great size for this style of watch, but we got so many comments from you asking if we could make a bigger one and a smaller one that we made a bigger one and actually two smaller ones. Introducing the Erebus Ascent 41, the Erebus Ascent 36, and the Erebus Ascent 34. This means we now have a full spread of sizes available, so you have absolutely no excuse for not picking one up. And there are two pieces of good news. The first is, it's the same ridiculously low price that we were offering this time last year. $349 plus shipping for the enamel and fume dials, $379 for the stunning helix dials, and $399 for the mineral dials, including, for the first time on an Erebus, mother of pearl. I will of course leave a link to the erebuswatches.com website in the description of the video. You can check out all the specs and a bunch of images for each different size and color version there. Pre-order prices are $100 across the board, cheaper than the full RRPs. And please, by all means, do your own research, have a look around and see how much other micros charge for watches that are often not nearly as nice as the Ascent. And as if you needed any more reason than that to pick one of these up, the second bit of good news is that we're now conducting all pre-orders on a 50-50 system. You pay for half of your order up front and the other half a couple of weeks before the watches are dispatched. We're not a brand new brand anymore, and we thought that was a much more equitable way of running a pre-order rather than asking you for 100% of the purchase price up front. But because it's a pre-order, that allows us to offer these watches at the best possible prices. The pre-order window will be open for the next 4 weeks and we anticipate delivering the watches in early August. So far, we have a 100% success rate of on-time delivery, so I feel confident with giving you that date. And as always with Erebus, Stephen and I just love to offer you choices. So we're launching the Ascent 41 in no less than 8 different dials, the Ascent 36 with 8 different dials, and the 34mm version with 5 different dials. Each size gets at least one exclusive colour that we haven't featured before and doesn't feature on any of the other size versions. 41 gets sky blue helix, which looks absolutely amazing. 36 gets red agate mineral, fume blue and blue mother of pearl. And the 34 gets duck egg blue and white mother of pearl. The good news is you can get some of our classic colours in these new sizes, including neon pink, purple helix, orange fume, red helix, and of course aventurine, which has been the single most popular dial choice to date. 41 and 36 both get the choice of either 3-link O-style or 5-link J-style bracelet. We felt the 34 looked best on the J-style, so all of those are supplied with the 5-link. All watches, regardless of size or dial, feature all of the usual specs that you've come to expect of Erebus already. So, high quality Japanese movement in the form of a Miyota 9015, colour match date wheels at 6 for integration and symmetry, as much BGW9 Superluminova as we could pack into the hands and the indices, 100 metres of water resistance, quick release spring bars and on the fly adjustable clasps, and enough anti-reflective coating underneath the crystal to make you think the crystal isn't even there half of the time. Now, I know it's a lot to take in today. This is our biggest ever launch and my head is still spinning from filming 21 watches, but we felt there was no point releasing them in dribs and drabs. We may as well just drop them all at once and let you decide which ones you fancy. But let's take a breath and go through each different size and each different colour in order, starting with the 41. I'll leave timestamps in the description of the video if you want to skip around if you already know that you're more interested in one particular size. And let's start with the 41 then. The Ascent has such a smooth and sculpted case shape that it allowed us to introduce a larger size version while retaining all of the elegance and wearability of the original. And I must say, even though I'm normally a sub 40mm guy myself, this one looks fantastic on me. The all-important dimensions on the 41 are 40.7mm in diameter, thickness is only 11.2, and we kept the lug-to-lug super wearable at 47. 20mm between the lugs with a bracelet tapering down to 16 and back up to 18.5 at the adjustable clasp. As size for me, the 41 weighs in at 126 grams. 100 meters of water resistance, double dome sapphire crystal with AR undercoating, and a Miyota 9015 as discussed. It's got the same signature case profile as the 39s with a beautiful elegant curve to it with polished flanks but a brushed contour line running down the middle from lug tip to lug tip. The upper lug surfaces are brushed, the bezel is high polished. It's a 6.5mm Erebus branded crown on this one. Choice of two bracelets, the same as last time. They're both carried over directly from the 39. So 5-link J-style with 3 polished center links and satin brushed outer links, or all brushed 3-link O-style. So you have a choice. You can either accentuate the dressier traits of the Ascent by opting for the J-style, or go for a more sporty look by picking the O-style. I guess the choice of bracelets then goes hand in hand with the choice of dial colour. And you have plenty of choice. Black enamel, clean, simple, gorgeous. All watches, by the way, feature an applied 2-piece Erebus logo and minimal dial text to keep things nice and clean. Hot pink has been a big hit with the Origin 38 and Ascent 39 models. Both did really well in that colour, and no wonder it is in your face in the best possible way. Purple Helix has actually been our second most popular colour over the year that the Ascent has been available, and it's easy to see why. It's a lovely deep purple, and those are 100 tiny Erebus logos in a spiralling pattern. You can also now get that pattern in a couple of other colours as well. Either this striking sky blue, which is another personal favourite of mine, or red Helix with the red also having a fume colour gradient to it as well, fading to almost black where the dial meets the chapter ring. Now the hands are a standout on all of these models. We pay a lot of money per handset, and I think that is more than reflected in these shots. They just look beautiful. And have you noticed that the counterbalance of the second hand is loomed? It manages to maintain an elegance, but also allows you to check the watch is running after dark. The real fun of the aventurine dial though comes during the day. It is such a dynamic material. Every watch dial made of aventurine just seems to dance under different light conditions. Now that might be too much for some, but clearly there's plenty of you that like it because, as I said, this has been our most popular dial option to date. White enamel doesn't do too badly for itself either though. It's a beautiful shade of white. And there's still plenty of definition between the hands, the indices and the dial, which is not always the case with certain other white dial watches. If you have enough black dial and blue dials in your collection already, I highly recommend picking up a white one. They just look so clean, sharp and refreshing in their own way. And finally, Orange Fume. Orange Fume was the poster boy of the Ascent 39 launch early last year, and no wonder. It's such a great colour option. An intense sunburst orange at the centre of the dial, fading to almost black at its edges, with a beautifully colour matched date wheel blending in nicely, but still allowing you to see what the date is. So those are the 41s, and I think they're going to be really popular with people who just want to watch with a bit more wrist presence that was offered by the 39, but is still fabulously wearable with that short lug to lug, curved case profile, slimness and optimal weight for balance. But what if both 41 and 39 are just a little bit too big for you? What if you have a smaller wrist or just like a smaller watch? Well, today is your lucky day. Let's start with a look at the Ascent 36. Again, this one comes with a choice of two bracelets, but we're going to make one slight change for production units here, the only change that we're making to any of the watches from the prototypes. we're going to change the end link on the O-style bracelet from male to female. It wears nicely as it is, but we think it will suit people with smaller wrists even better if we change to an articulated link, so that's what we're doing. So again, the same rationale applies as with the 41. O-style looks a little sportier because there's less high polish, J-style a little dressier because there's more high polish. So the dimensions of this one, 36mm in diameter, it's even slimmer at 11mm on the nose with a lug to lug of only 42mm. We kept the lug width at 20mm though to allow you a much broader range of both Erebus and aftermarket strap options if that's how you like to wear your watches. The bracelet has the same taper down to 16 and back up to 18.5 at the clasp, but we used a smaller clasp than features on this watch's two big brothers. I'll show you that in just a second. Crystal and water resistance are the same. Weight though is obviously going to be a little bit lighter, 110 grams as size for me. It's the same movement though, the ever reliable Miyota. Now in terms of colour choices, you do have a range of sensible everyday options including black enamel, white helix and blue fume. Those are the three that jump out from the range if you're looking to wear this one as a daily, as an office watch in that type of environment. You really can't go wrong with a black dial watch because black does go with everything, doesn't it? And by pretty much the same metric, white goes with everything as well. A real pair of classics therefore. Now we wanted to add our signature helix dial to the range in white, and here it is. But because of the light colour, it's definitely more subtle than the effect on some of the other darker dials. We also wanted to do something a bit different with the blue 36, so we went with a blue fume for the first time ever, and we are really happy with the result. It's a great shade of blue. Purple Helix and Aventurine, our two most popular dials, are available in 36mm because we've been crazy not to offer both of them in 36mm, would we not? Plus we have two new exclusive mineral dial options as well. Red agate, looks gorgeous, really subtle, deep, dark and rich, and blue mother of pearl, another first for us as a brand. I think these two are going to be really popular. Again, not something you see all that often and in a size that's going to suit a lot of people. And frankly, that blue mother of pearl looks absolutely stunning. A real surprise. This was Stephen's pick. This is his favourite. I wasn't so keen, but I'm okay with admitting that I was wrong. And finally, hot pink. This is such a great colour, such a fun colour, and this one has been a bit of a hobby horse of mine, getting this colour onto the dials of several Erebus this year. I'm delighted that I did because it looks fantastic. What about the 34mm Ascent then? Look, we're not going to label our watches as men's watches or women's watches. You buy what you like for your wrist. Having said that, we do hope that some of these 34mm will end up on ladies' wrists as well as a few gentlemen's wrists. It's a size that most micro brands ignore entirely, they just don't go there, but we think it's going to be sneaky popular because of exactly that. And perhaps if you've been thinking about picking up an Ascent 41 for yourself, you might consider picking up an Ascent 34 for that special person in your life, or the other way around. Like I said, we make the watches, you buy what you think suits your wrist. And we are so happy with how these turned out. They just look fabulous. It's a design that has effortlessly translated to both larger and smaller diameters. So these are 34mm in diameter, 10.9mm thick, and with a lug to lug of 40mm. Now we did bring the lug width down to 18 on these, tapering to 14 and back up to 16 at a custom clasp just for this size. Water resistance, crystal, etc. unchanged. Weight as size for me is 95 grams. Now these are supplied with sufficient links to fit at least a 7.5 inch wrist, as you can clearly see here with the watch on my wrist. But to show you what it looked like on a wrist smaller and less hairy than my own, I will also now employ the services of the lovely Mrs. Johnwa, who has already expressed a rather strong interest in the mother of pearl. Colours on these then. Let's start with a quick look at the hot pink. Now the only enamel dial colour that you can find across all four size versions. Oddly enough, it looks fantastic on this smaller watch, particularly I think when paired with the J-style bracelet that all of these come with. White helix makes a second appearance on the smallest of the Ascents, and doesn't it look nice? Aventurine, because they would have been a riot had we not released an Aventurine. Duck egg blue. Now that's what we're going to call it. You can call it whatever you like. Again, this is a colour that just looks fantastic on this style of watch because of all the subtle details on the dial, the logo, all the facets to the indices, and a high quality handset. Now, maybe you noticed we removed the index under the date complication on the 36mm version, and on these smaller 34mm version sizes, we dropped the chapter ring because otherwise the dial would have been just a bit too small, and we wanted to retain the watch's excellent legibility even in this smaller size. Again, like all of the others, the date wheel is colour matched seamlessly to the dial. Final new colour in 34mm, and I think the one that will probably be the most popular, it's that white mother of pearl, Mrs. Jonwa's pick. It's not overcooked or overbearing. There's just enough colour pop here under certain light conditions that you notice the mother of pearl, but under other light conditions, it almost disappears. It's a beautiful effect, and one I think is going to be very well received. That's all well and good, but it wouldn't be a Jonwa video without a Moans and Niggles section, even if these are my own babies. So here it is, my Moans and Niggles section. No. Seriously. The white helix is not nearly as impactful as some of the other colours. In fact, from some angles, it's a bit of a struggle to see the helix pattern at all. If that's too subtle for you, then by all means go for one of the darker shades. The Miyota 9000 series is a solid choice, but as you probably know, it's not the quietest choice necessarily. The rotor only winds in one direction, so there is occasionally a little bit of wobble and a little bit of rotor noise associated with the movement. And there may be some of you who will ask why the 34mm watches cost the same as the 41mm watches. Well, I'll tell you, it's because they cost us the same. There may be less material in the smaller watches, but apparently there's just as much workmanship goes into each one, so they cost us exactly the same money. Duties and taxes. This is a slightly movable feast at the moment. We now include UK taxes and duties at checkout, so there'll be no surprises for UK customers, but I suggest you check your own national or state legislation to see if you are liable for any import taxes on these if you live elsewhere. And as nice as the Ascent is, it's a watch that you saw for the first time last April. We do have a bunch of new stuff in the pipeline, new models as discussed, but none of them are quite ready yet. So if you were expecting a brand new model, stay tuned. You probably don't have long to wait. And finally, if you're hanging on for an Ascent 43, an Ascent 40, a 37 and a half, a 35 3/4, or a 31, I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed. This is it. 4 sizes. We reckon they cover all wrists and all bases. We won't be diversifying beyond that. What else to tell you then? Well, shipping is $35 US or the equivalent in your local currency on top of all prices. All watches come with a 2-year warranty, and we now have service centres in the USA as well as here in Australia, and we're actively seeking one in the UK as well. Stay tuned for news there. And we have a bunch of accessories available for these as well. We have sports style strap packs featuring silicone, FKM rubber and nylon military straps available in black, blue or brown for $35 US. And we have leather strap packs featuring 2 different leather straps and 1 leather military style strap available in black or brown for $45 US. That is for all 3 straps, by the way, not for 1 strap. All straps feature Airbus branded hardware and quick release spring bars, meaning the whole experience is tool free. We even provide quick release spring bars for the military style straps as well. And if you want to show your love for Airbus on your chest and your head as well as on your wrist, we sell t-shirts in various sizes and various colours, and we have a couple of different styles of high quality stitched caps, all in stock, all ready to ship with your order. If you're not already a member of the Club Airbus Facebook group, I would suggest you join us there. It's a really nice group. All watches are welcome, and Stephen and I keep you informed with progress reports and offers, etc. there before anywhere else. Now, if you want to see these watches on wrists other than mine and Mrs. Jonwa, thank you Mrs. Jonwa, by the way, your checks in the post, I hope it doesn't bounce. You can expect to see reviews by Peter Kotza, Ben from Ben's Watch Club, Kieran from Top Tier Ticker, Olivier from Horologique, and a couple of others over the course of the next 4 weeks. We got a number of prototypes made up, and I was able to shoot them all before sending them off in small batches to various other reviewers. And if none of these new sizes quite suit your wrist, a gentle reminder that we do have the Ascent 39 still available for pre-order, also on the 50/50 deal, with stock expected here in Sydney in April. Production on those is well underway, so a matter of weeks rather than a matter of months to wait. So there you have it. My jaw is actually sore from all of this talking. I better stop here. Link to the website in the description. If you want to watch any of the videos I've made on the 39, click here or here. Thanks for watching this one. I will see you again in the next one.